Well, hello folks, this is Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the man cave. Big shout out to Hobby Zone for sending me out the 1.4 meter Prodigy for review. Now this is the ready to fly, so that means it comes with everything you need minus the batteries for the radio to get you in the air. So let's take her out of the box and let's do an unboxing and see what comes in the box. On the very bottom is your radio. Looks like your battery and your charger. So we'll go ahead and take them out from here. Now, no surprise there that this is an FMS balance charger. Okay. I don't know if y'all are aware or not, but FMS is, I don't want to say makes arrows. I believe they do make arrows, but if not, they're very, very closely related and kind of go hand in hand. So the quality of FMS is also in, well, I guess they do make it, is also in the Arrows product. This is the ready to fly, so it comes with a 1300 milliamp 3S, and this has a 25C discharge, perfect for a beginner plane like the Prodigy. Oh, it comes with a Fly Sky. First time I've ever used a Fly Sky controller. And it looks like it's going to require 4 AA batteries. So, alright, some simple controls. Your switches are down here to set your trim. That's probably a bind button down here. That would be on and off. So you're going to need 4 AA batteries for that. Back in there. And then turn them all over. Now, this has, just like the Arrows Trekker, you have 2 parts to the fuselage. You have the back half and the front half. Let's just unbox it and see what comes in the box. I'm hoping it's plain. Quite well, yeah. Should be what it is. Alright, so now, your wings here. Just like all Arrows products, I dare you, you can see the individual gator cells, but you cannot feel. When I say gator, it looks like gator skin, or alligator skin. But you cannot feel them. You can see them, but you cannot feel them. That may be metal inserts that it screws through. Not sure yet. Nice, big control surface there. Anywhere wrong? This is nice. Very well done. Very well done. Very sleek and very strong. Got your other wings. You got your wing spar. Okay. Got your other wing. Again, very strong Arrows brand servo. Okay, it's not metal in there. That's just it's a hard plastic tube that the screws are going to go through to connect the wing to the fuselage. Manual is kind of folded. It was kind of in there and then turned over. Okay, here's the back half of the fuselage. Big metal doubler there. Very nice finish on that. Your rudder servo is already attached for you. The hinge is a foam hinge that has like some glue laminate in there to reinforce it. Let me look on the hinge on the ailerons and see what they got. Yeah, the same thing. They've got like a glue laminate in there to reinforce that hinge. That's excellent. Nice big elevator. Same lock-in type mechanism for locking in the tail feathers. Very nice finish. There is not a spar in it, but it's very thick, very dense foam, and this is not going to be a super fast plane. Again, always check your little crevices. You look down in here. There was a bind plug, and on the radio, apparently they want to give you a little thing for your thumb. I just gave you one. I don't know why there's not two there, but all right. And then you got, looks like 2mm hex head screws, and they're all the same size with a one connection for the elevator, which will be all that you're going to need. Okay. Now I'm going to suspect, I like how sleek this looks. I'm going to suspect that the radio inside is already bound to the airplane. We will find out momentarily. All right. Just like that. More debris over there. Got that piece of tape there. All right. And inside is your radio, which is a Fly Sky or Fire. How do you say that? Fly Sky FS186, a 6-channel receiver, and the vector stabilization system is in there also. I'm going to, and it has the double-sided tape still attached, so I'm sure somewhere in the instructions it's going to show you where to attach it. More than likely it's going to attach on the bottom right here in that wooden tray. And this hard, very hard nose cone. This thing is built to be for a beginner. Yeah, okay, now there is metal reinforcements here, so we attach the wings, that's going to attach into metal, so that's good. All right, so got an XT60 connector there, and throttle's already attached, and I'm going to assume that is the leads for the ailerons to come through. Let's see. They're very long aileron leads. And look, this has got plastic that's going to slide the fuselage and then attach. All right. So that's good. That's good quality. I like all that cooling right there. And there's a spot there where you're going to fish your leads through from the tail boom section. All right. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a little cutter here. And what we're going to do, we're going to cut and be very careful with this. You see right there, you're going to cut that without cutting the wires. And those are already labeled for you. Okay, so let's go ahead. Take our fuselage. Like I said, you got that hole there, that channel. Fish that through there. Which may be easier said than done. Let me look at something real quick. How far of an opening? Oh, I got a big opening. Big channel for that to fish through. So you know what we're going to do? Now we're going to cheat. and use a competitor's item called a go get 'em wire. And all it is just a stiff piece of wire with a hoop on the end of it. Alright? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fish the hoop end through the very bottom. Oh, not there. There we go. There. Now I've got that hoop end hanging out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the two pieces of the aileron, or the elevator, and the rudder leads, and I'm going to hoop this through the end of the wire there, okay, just like so, where it's on the end of that wire there. And then I'm going to reach up, and of course part of it just came undone. Okay. Oh, see, you know, off camera, this stuff works perfectly for me. If I'm filming something, everything wants to fight me. Grab a hold of my other end of the wire, okay, and then I'm going to pull all of that through. Hopefully, try to anyways. Like I said, this is off camera, this works perfectly. On camera, everything's going to fight me tooth and nail. This go get 'em wire is, like I said, just a long piece of wire with a hoop on the end of it. So you could fashion something like that. Just needs to be nice and stiff. Okay. Okay. Push that long spar into that hole. Okay. Pull the rest of my wiring on through, making that connection nice and tight. Okay, you see there's the end of it there. Okay. Unhook it from the go get 'em wire. Push that into place. Now that had an audible click. Okay, so I'm going to take one of those screws, came with a kit. You know, I didn't even look at the instructions. I hope I'm doing this. Hope I'm doing this right. Make sure this is something right here. Get yourself these little metal trays, magnetic trays. They hold all your screws and everything in place. Let me set the camera back just a touch. Hold everything in place. Just make your life a whole lot easier. And that is a 2mm. Yes, it is hex drive. Okay. Oop, 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 oop. Oop, oop, oop. Come on. See, this is where I do very much need a blooper reel or something. The other thing you can get to help out with these little like little dental tools that have hooks on the end of it. You get them at Walmart or Tractor Supply or Rural King, other places like that. I got these at Walmart. Most hardware stores, big box stores, you know, will sell things like that. Come on. But if I run into difficulties, you know, you're going to run into some difficulties too. That way I can show you what to expect. Alright, let's just fish that on through there the old-fashioned way. I just kind of shove them wires down in there. when you know right here where this connection is where there's a natural bend in those wires. Oh, aggravating. Aggravating. Okay. All right. Pull them through straight. Click that into place. I've lost one of my screws now. Hopefully they gave me an extra one because I was holding that tool. And then push that into place. This is a lot better of a mechanism than the Trekker. With the Trekker, you have screws that go in from the top and the bottom like that, and it's just hard to, that fuselage fits so tightly together. But I mean, you can do it, you just kind of have to keep rocking it back and forth until you get in that. Now that's in there. That ain't going nowhere. That's all now one solid piece. Okay, it does look like you get an extra screw, which is a good thing. I've already lost one to hold, to put in your wings. You're going to have 4 screws. Put your wing spars through there. Okay. Go ahead and there's a hole, big square hole right there. You're going to fish that through, and there again, this is where it's nice to have tools to kind of, and that has a little bend on it. Reach in there and grab that wire. Okay. That way you got plenty of room. That's the wire from that wing. Just makes life so much easier. Got them wires tucked in there up out of the way. I'm going to do the same thing. Slide it through here. Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. Look right there. There's a big hole, obvious hole. Okay, you're going to fish this wire through there. Okay. Very simple. Nothing fancy about it. There is that wire there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take our remaining screws, fish that in from the top there. I would love, you know, I just did the unboxing and assembly of that Ailerons RC SZD power glider, right? Had it done for about a week now, but the weather is horrible. And I'm off this weekend here, and there's no hope. We got like an El Nino going on here in Central Florida. There'll be no flying. So that means next Thursday, December the 21st, will probably be my next possible day to fly. And I'll be able to maiden this and maiden that glider, the SCD 54 glider. And it has a very obvious bottoming out point. Don't try to over tighten it. Once you get down, and it's like getting really, really hard, just stop right there. Okay, you can kind of tell. You can just kind of tell. Okay. That wing's in there good. What I should have done is I've already got that battery that came with it. I should have already got it charging, but I didn't. Like I said, I'm not all that spit and polished at these videos. Kind of doing from the hip, that's okay. A lot of y'all told me they prefer my channel because I just keep things keep it real just like y'all do, just like any other person, because I am any other person, you know. I everything about Fat Guy Flies RC and RC planes, I have taught myself through my wallet, the same as y'all. So I just have a very deep passion for this hobby. I absolutely love it. Drives my wife nuts, you know, but God bless her, because she knows that she's the reason I'm in the hobby. And I remind her of that all the time. Real quick, as we're waiting for me to get this wing put together. 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, I had a balsa and pine plane. And had one formal lesson, thought I knew more about flying RC planes than my instructor. Stupid, young and dumb, you know, in my early 20s. And thought I knew more. Took the thing out on my neighborhood, flew it in a neighborhood like an idiot. Alright, that's in there good. And lost control, back old 75 megahertz radio, Futaba radio. Lost control of it. She flew off on her own. You know, got discouraged and just stupid hobby, stupid plane, gave up on it. I enjoyed it for the little bit of time I had it, but you know. Well, anyways, make a long story short, got out of the hobby for about 20 years, maybe 18 years. My very stressful job. I'm not going to tell you what I do for a living, but I have a very stressful job that involves shift work. And used to put computers together and do a lot of online gaming for stress relief. Well, that just wasn't cutting it for me. And my wife said, "Why don't you try that RC plane stuff again? You know, you're a little slightly older, more mature, so or a lot older, but not much more mature. Why don't you try that?" And I did it, and that's been probably, I don't know, 11 years ago, maybe about 11 years ago, when SAFE first came out. SAFE, Century Assisted Flight Envelope, first came out. And through SAFE, ready to fly type planes like this, I was able to teach myself to fly again with a one basic lesson that I did remember was, he said, take off in the wind and land in the wind if you don't remember anything else. And I've always remembered that, and it has stuck with me, and it is true. But since that, SAFE enabled me to get in the hobby. I taught myself how to really fly. Got my first 4-channel airplane, because before I just had a tail control. And the rest is history. And you look around, and I started filming my videos and said, why don't you put them on YouTube? You know, people might, I said, who's going to watch this fat guy fly an RC plane? They said, you'd be surprised. Well, what started, and that's how I got the name, by the way. I said, what am I going to call the channel? Fat Guy Flies RC? And they said, that sounds good. And the rest is history. Here I am. All right, now back to this what we're doing here. Like I said, you've got that same channel, right? Like you have on the SCD 54. Looky there, same mechanism. Now, that should just slide. Make sure you put it control arm down, because that's going to hook up to your elevator servo there. And it has a channel that runs into. And you saw me get it out of the box. I had no experience with this model. And it should. Okay, it doesn't click into place, but we understand it's going to be held by the control rod, but it's in there. It is very much in there. I wonder if okay. Oh, and there's like a hard plastic surface here, and a hard plastic surface there, and a very hard nose cone. So this thing is meant, look how sleek that thing is. This thing is meant to be tossed, you know, and then land on its belly. So that is the basic build. I'm going to assume, and I know that's a dangerous thing to do, that this elevator servo is already centered. If not, we can always take care of that. But I'm going to go ahead and hook this up. Let me see where the manual says to hook it up to. Probably the furthest hole out. Okay, we did everything right. We did the tail first, or the back of the fuselage first. Then we put the wings on. Then we put the, yeah, it isn't the horizontal stabilizer in place to ensure it has been properly installed. It doesn't say anything about a click. And you do hook up your elevator at the furthest hole out on the servo arm and on the furthest hole out on the control surface on the clevis there. Now you got this fuel tubing on there. You want to slide that back where that's free, just don't let it fall. Okay, you got a Z-bend on there. Hook that through the very bottom. I'm sorry, I got my head in your way. Okay. Now, looky here. Look at how much longer this is. Okay. So what you're going to do, and I'm much rather I'm going to screw. I'm going to grab a hold of it. I'm going to screw this end in, the clevis end, until it's even with that bottom hole. Because like I said, I'm going to assume that, let me just take it back out of there. Like I said, I'm going to assume that that servo is already centered. Usually the ready to fly planes, they usually are. Sorry, I got my head in your way. I'll show you what I'm doing here in just a second. All right, that's pretty much there. A little bit, a couple more times. This is a very awkward angle for me. Okay. Alright, that's going to click into place. Pull your, alright, here's what that's going to look like when you get all done. Okay. See, that's fairly even. And you're going to hook up from your bottom to the bottom hole there. That might have a little bit of up elevator, but I can trim that out, or I can always mechanically adjust that back down. But that just to give you a basic idea of the build, the basic build of the Ailerons RC Prodigy. And looks like a very well designed plane. Like I said, I love all these plastic bits. Fits together really well. It looks good. What I like, you got markings on the bottom of the wing, so that's going to help with orientation. And yeah, that should be a nice fly, easy to fly plane. All right, we're going to take a break there. I'll get this battery charged, and then I'll get it all bound up and connect and ready to fly. And then I'll show you. We'll go over the radio process and how you do that. And I got to find some AA batteries anyways for the transmitter. And I'll let you know whether it should be automatically bound. If not, we'll make sure that happens. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That shout out to Hobby Zone for this Prodigy. We'll get her together, and we'll be right back and do the radio. Bye bye. All right, we're back. Now I found some AA batteries, and this is, in fact, as I say, this is the Hobby Zone sent this out. This is the Prodigy, the Ailerons RC Prodigy. Shout out to Hobby Zone. Found me some AA batteries. Found it, got them in the Fly Sky transmitter, and as I suspected, the plane is already bound up. Okay, now what I don't like, and something I want to do real quick, I'm going to unplug the battery. I'm going to take this prop off. You should never work in the shop, if you can avoid it, with your prop on. It's just you might accidentally bump the throttle or something, you know, and you just don't want to run the risk of getting cut. I mean, it's a real shame. you know, you're putting this together for your child or for yourself and you cut yourself on a toy. Okay, just not a good idea. But I already know the motor is turning in the right direction. Okay, now it is already bound. Okay, so you put your 4 AA batteries in there. On the vector system, as I said, you take that double-sided tape off of there and you just plant it right in there. It's already hooked up to the receiver. What you have to do is on the back of the vector system, okay, back of that vector system, there is different ports. And what you have to plug in is your elevator and your rudder. And it's labeled elevator and rudder. And the yellow lead or the light side lead is going to go towards the top or this side of the vector. Once you get those two things plugged in, and then those 2 leads that come out of your ailerons, they're not labeled. They're going to hook into that Y. And like all servo connections, light to light, dark to dark, hook those in, plant your vector in there, okay? And then just take your receiver that's already hooked up, shove it back in there, put one antenna going backwards and one kind of going this way, which is what I did here, and have your battery charge. Turn on your transmitter first. You see that green light, it's on. And then take the double-sided tape off the back, the Velcro tape, put the soft on the back of the battery, and then attach that to your battery, and then plug it in. Now, plug in power on your plane. Okay? I'm going to go through a little dance. Okay, the ESC armed. Okay, I've got to get the... Hold on. It says it's already bound. Okay, that's what I'm waiting on, to hear that. Now, all right. Now, if you look at your... Just real quick, let's go over your... This does nothing. This up here, this does nothing. Okay? This is your ailerons and your elevator. This is your throttle and your rudder. This button up here is what controls your different levels of the vector system. Okay? This is power for the transmitter and this is bind. You don't have to worry about bind because she's already bound up. Now I'm putting this switch all the way up. And if you look, okay, you see up there in that vector system, solid yellow light, okay? What that is their, I think it's their optimized mode, if I remember right. Let me make sure of that. I won't tell you wrong. No, that is their dynamic mode, okay? Okay, this is their dynamic mode. Because you see how the servos, here the gyro's working? Okay, and when I turn the wing this way, the aileron goes against the movement. If I turn the aileron this way, this aileron is going against my hand. So the rudder, if it's correctly configured, if I put my hand on the rudder and I turn it this way, the rudder should turn against my hand, and it does. What do you think on the elevator? If I pull up on the tail, that elevator should go against my hand, and it does. So that tells me that my gyro, or the wind stabilization, or what they call dynamic mode, is that what we said? Dynamic mode, which is the same as optimized mode in the reflex world or AS3X in the spectrum world. So we know that's working. Now, if I take that switch and put it in the middle position, I now have nothing. That's what they call direct mode, which means just you controlling the plane. No stabilization, no wind mitigation, no help at all, no self-level. But if you pull that switch all the way down, now look at that elevator. See how it's going up? Watch the ailerons. If I turn the plane this way, look at this aileron's up and it's holding position. That's going to right the plane. That is self-level, and they call that stability mode. All right? So if I turn the plane upside down, it's going to, see, it's going to try to bring the plane back up to level flight. So, to review that, all the way up, this switch here, all the way towards the antenna, is dynamic mode or optimized mode or AS3X, wind mitigation. If I put it in the middle, no gyro help, no self-level, just straight control. If I pull down, I now have self-level. And you also have the wind mitigation or the gyros helping you with the wind also. Now, CG on this plane, which CG stands for center of gravity, is 70 to 80 millimeters back from the leading edge root, or leading edge of the wing, which in this case is here. And 70 to 80 is going to put it right before, you see this vent here? It's going to put it right there, right in front. So if you go underneath, kind of put your fingers, you can see the wing spar there, put your fingers right before that. Well, I need to put the cap on, because this does have a small amount of weight. Okay. Put it right there. Yeah, and she CG's just perfect. And like I said, I do have the prop off for safety's sake. Now, to review, let's go over the radio setup again. You do not have to bind it to the transmitter. It's already bound. All of the control surface, with the exception of the elevator, which I showed you in the assembly, you hook that. That's the only thing you hook up is the elevator. And when you hook it up, make sure that it is. See how it's trimmed? See how that elevator is going straight across? So as long as it looks like that. If it's just maybe it ever has an ever so slight up, that's okay. That just means your plane's going to gently rise on you, which is actually going to help with wind mitigation or with flying anyways. Oh, you know what? Look at, see how nice and level that went right back to level. Just to show you the throws on that. That's all the way up, all the way down. Okay. Now I don't know. There's your ailerons working. There's your rudder working. I have no idea what these percentages are. It doesn't say in the book. But anyways, back to this. You're going to hook in your elevator to the port on the back of the vector. That's port facing backwards. That says elevator. It's labeled elevator. You're going to hook your rudder up the same way. It's labeled elevator or rudder. Hook it up with the light side of the wire going up or towards the top of the plane, okay, or the top of the vector. The pigtail or Y connectors already coming out of the back of the vector. Those are where your ailerons that came in that are not labeled, they're going to hook into that. Remember, light to light, dark to dark. Anytime you're putting two servo connectors together, light to light, dark to dark is your polarity, okay? Everything off the vector is already hooked to the receiver, okay? Receiver's already bound to the transmitter, so all you got to do is shove your receiver back in there, make your antennas go against each other, mount your battery, plug her in, make sure you got your prop off if you're inside, okay? And to CG with the stock battery that came with it, that 1300, I'm basically at the very front of that wood tray that's in there. Put that on there like that, and other than putting the prop back on, she's ready to fly. Okay, the bind plug that comes with it, you do not need. This little pointy device that's on there, I have no idea what that's for. I did mention when I unboxed that the radio had these little knobs, that there was only one. They actually did have two. They were just stacked on top of each other, and they're very short, and they just screw on. Okay. All right, well, that's pretty much all there is to it. You're going to get a good 7 minutes of flight time with a 1300 milliamp 3S. This will take up to, I'll probably end up putting a 2700 in there. And I will fly this on the maiden flight with this setup as it is. The battery, the Fly Sky receiver, this entire ready to fly setup. I'll fly it the first time on that. And then I'll be honest with you, I more than likely will I'll leave the vector system in there because it's tuned to this plane. I will take that receiver out. I will not use this transmitter, and I will get my own receiver on. It's a 4-channel, a Spectrum, and I will bind that to my NX10. That way all of my planes are on one transmitter. I don't have to carry around another transmitter just for this plane. But the point of this is a ready to fly to get you in the hobby inexpensively. I want to say this thing is, I don't know, was it $179, $199 for everything you need to get in the hobby? That's a good deal. That's a really good deal. Now, if you want this plane, okay, I'll put a link to the assembly, to this video. I'll put a link in here. Use that link, and then if you want to buy the plane, put it in your basket. Put in the code in all caps, FGFRC, which Fat Guy Flies RC, FGFRC, all caps, and you can take $10 off the price. I mean, it's not much, but if you want to buy the plane, you have to buy it through Hobby Zone Arrows anyways. Why not save $10? I mean, it's the same difference, because that's the only place you're going to be able to buy it in America anyways. So, unless you get it at a swap shop somewhere. But anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That is the Arrows Prodigy, all put together, 1.4 meter wingspan, ready to go. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless each and every one of you. Merry Christmas, and bye-bye. Oh, and don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then beginner planes. Bye. Gotta turn this off.